What's up, you guys? Today we are starting a two-part brand review series on Fresh Beauty. I have been seeing all of your requests to talk about Fresh's skincare, so of course I am making that happen. But first I want to talk a little bit about why I decided to do more of a general brand review for Fresh instead of using the products for 2 months straight. So first of all, I have been using Fresh's products for like a solid 5 years now. I am well acquainted with a lot of their products. Obviously those 2-month reviews are very time consuming and limiting in terms of other products that I can try, so I do want to save them for brands that I'm not as familiar with. Also, Fresh has so many different lines within their brand, like they have Lotus, Rose, Black Tea, Peony, Umbrian Clay, Vitamin Nectar. I had no idea how I would possibly narrow it down and choose which products to use for 2 months, so I figured let's just talk about everything I have tried from them. And I am splitting this into 2 parts because I have, I think, roughly 20 products to talk about, and I figured that would be long even for me. I will say that in general I do have a pretty positive view of Fresh as a brand. Of course there are some products I haven't got on with and I'm going to share that with you in today's video, but in general Fresh is a brand that I like. But anyways, if you are watching this video in the future, part 2 will be linked in the description box down below, as well as all of the products mentioned in today's video and my skin type if you are new to my channel. But let's just get into it. So the first area we are diving into is cleansers, of course, and we are starting off with the Sea Berry Cleansing Oil. So I was actually supposed to receive the regular Sea Berry facial oil from Fresh, but this showed up instead, and I'm honestly totally fine with that because this was a new product to me and I was like, great, it's another one I can include in my review. But we need to talk about the key ingredient in Fresh's Sea Berry products, and that is sea buckthorn. So when I worked at Sephora, the brand trainer for Fresh told us a story of how one of the brand founders, when they were a child, they had burnt their arm really badly, and when they went to the doctor, he said he remembered the doctor putting this orange paste on the wound, and he talks about realizing later on that that was actually a sea buckthorn salve. So this ingredient has been used for centuries for its healing properties and its ability to reduce inflammation. As a plant, it is also known for its ability to thrive in really harsh climates and barren conditions. And if you saw my recent vlog, I went on a brand trip to visit a farm, and I actually saw that sea buckthorn is grown locally here, which was really cool. When I think of ingredients for repairing and healing the skin, the first 2 oils that come to mind are rosehip, which I actually talked about in last week's video if you missed it, but also sea buckthorn, because sea buckthorn is really rich in vitamin C and E, as well as omegas 3, 6, 7, and 9, so it is a great ingredient to look out for if you deal with acne scarring, eczema, rosacea, even a sunburn, basically any kind of condition where the skin has been damaged. So I've actually really enjoyed this cleansing oil. It's a little bit thinner than I typically go for, but it does tick all of my boxes in terms of breaking down all my makeup, emulsifying well, and rinsing off easily, and it has great ingredients that my skin type can benefit from. You also have camellia oil in this formula, which I talked about in my Tatcha brand review, but that is a great ingredient for skin experiencing moisture loss, and rosemary in this formula, which is naturally antiseptic and clarifying and great for oily and acne prone skin. I would say this is probably in my top 3 cleansing oils. If you're looking for a new cleansing oil to try, I'd say this is worth picking up. I definitely don't think you will be disappointed by it. So I don't actually have the Sea Berry facial oil at the moment, but it is a product I have used in the past, so I also just wanted to add that it is a great facial oil if you struggle with any of the concerns I just outlined. It's got very similar ingredients. I also particularly like the Sea Berry oil when my skin was overly oily before I took Accutane, because it's still very moisturizing, but I do find it is lighter than the Pie Rosehip oil. So if you watched my video last week and you're kind of deciding between the two and you're a little bit hesitant about oils maybe and you want something lighter, I'd probably recommend the Fresh Sea Berry. Both great choices though. I don't think you'll be disappointed by either of them, and it is also a great oil if you do live in a harsh climate. I live in the Canadian prairies, so I can attest to that, but like I said, it's a very resilient plant, and I feel like that shows when it comes to your skin as well. Next is the classic soy face cleanser. I believe this is still the #1 selling cleanser in Sephora. I just have this little travel size tube at the moment, but I've gone through many tubes of this over the years. Full sizes, travel sizes, 100-point perks. I have used it a ton. I honestly don't have any strong feelings on this cleanser. It hasn't been anything revolutionary for me. It's the kind of product that I won't go out of my way to purchase, but when it just kind of falls into my lap, I will happily use it up because it is gentle. It leaves my skin feeling fine, but I know that this is like a holy grail product for so many people, and so many people with all different skin types swear by it. A lot of people really like it for removing makeup. You guys know I double cleanse, so I can't really speak to that. When I filmed my Holy Grail skincare video last week, I was actually thinking about this video, and I was thinking about how the Fresh Soy Face Cleanser might actually be a viable stepping stone into this kind of more gentle formula, because this is creamy and gentle, but it does still lather. So I think if you are hesitant to try either of my two favorite cleansers, but you are interested in them, this might be a good way to kind of ease you into that type of formula. Soy is rich in amino acids, which help make your skin more resilient and boost elasticity. This also has cucumber and rose in it to kind of soothe, and it does have the kind of classic fresh cucumber scent that a lot of their products have, especially their more kind of original products. But I don't have much else to say about this. It's just not a must for me, but I do think it is a good product. So the last product from this category is the Vitamin Nectar Vitamin C Glow Powder. I don't technically know if this is meant to be a cleanser. They say it's a 30-second foaming facial, but they don't really specify if you're supposed to use another cleanser before this. But either way, it's a product that you mix with water, lather up, and then rinse off after 30 seconds. So this is where we're putting it in this video. Now, if you know me, you may know that I am a huge fan of the Clinique Fresh Pressed Vitamin C powder. So I was really intrigued to see how this compared. So with this product, you get a box of 12 little powder packets that are split down the middle. What you're supposed to do is rip off the top, pour both sides into the palm of your hand, mix with a teaspoon of water to create a foamy lather, massage it into your face for 30 seconds, and rinse it off. So very similar to the Clinique product in that sense. This product is quite gritty even after adding the water. When I use powder cleansers or exfoliants, I typically like them to be nice and smooth and silky. That's not a huge issue for me though. I just find it a touch rough. I have to say though that I definitely still prefer the Clinique product. First of all, value-wise, the Clinique is 28 packets for $40 versus the Fresh, you get 12 packets for $53. The Fresh powder is 20% vitamin C versus the Clinique is 10%, and they both use ascorbic acid. So at first I was like, okay, it is a higher percentage. Maybe I can give them a pass for the price if I do feel like that extra 10% makes a drastic difference. But the value, the texture, and the results make Clinique the winner in my eyes. I just noticed more of a brightening effect with the Clinique powder, both immediate and long term, and the smoother texture of it just leaves my skin feeling better overall. So I have a toner and an essence to talk about next. This is the Rose Deep Hydration Facial Toner. Honestly, I have not used this much, I mean obviously, but I had this in my collection for a while and I really wanted to try this at least a little bit before filming this review so I could squeeze it in. So I ended up using it for a little bit in between Kylie's skin and switching over to Ulla Henriksen, which is what I'm currently using on my skin. But anyways, this is just going to be kind of like my general thoughts on like how it felt and everything. This is an alcohol-free toner that is formulated with rose fruit, rose water, and of course it is loaded with real rose petals, which gives it this beautiful, luxurious, display this on your vanity kind of feel. It also contains hyaluronic acid and glycerin. Fresh has another product called the Rose Floral Toner that is really similar to this, but it's just in a spray bottle, and honestly, that confuses me a lot. I don't know why they have both products, because when this came out, I assumed they were going to be discontinuing that, but they still sell both of them. Don't know what's up with that. This does feel lovely. It's soothing and it leaves your skin very supple, but this really just feels like a more expensive rose water mist to me. I feel the same way about this product as I do the Glossier Rose Water Spray, only in this case we are talking about a $50 price difference compared to like a $10 price difference when you are looking at, you know, rose water mist that you can get at the drugstore or the grocery store. Also, one thing that kind of bothered me about this, even just using this a little bit, the rose petals really do kind of clog up this little nozzle. I can imagine that being a complete pain, especially when you start to get lower. You could probably pop this little stopper out somehow, but also with the amount of rose petals in here, I have to stop and think, how much product are you really going to get out of this? Like, it's 250 milliliters, but I have to imagine a lot of that absorbs into the rose petals. So how much use are you really going to get out of this? Next is the Black Tea Kombucha Essence. I haven't talked about essences on my channel in a while, so just a refresher, essences were traditionally a K-beauty product. They are meant to go in between your toner and your serum. They're typically very liquidy, and they're just designed to really plump the skin. They're also supposed to help with pores and uneven texture and just give your skin a very luminous and smooth appearance. They are that extra skincare step that is really going to take your skin to the next level, in my opinion. Kombucha is fermented tea. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the benefits of eating fermented foods and the role they play in aiding digestion and nutrient absorption, and they kind of work in a similar way in the skin. So when you use fermented skincare, you basically get a supercharged, easily absorbed formula, and the fermentation process also does produce a natural AHA. In this particular product, Fresh uses black tea, which they use in a lot of their skincare for its abundance of antioxidants. So since this is a fermented black tea, once again, you are just kind of getting like a boosted version. So this product is going to be fantastic for fighting free radicals and pollution. The last essence I tried was Tatcha, and just glancing at these two products, they seem really similar because they both actually contain fermented tea, but I like the Fresh black tea essence so much more than the Tatcha. The Tatcha I just really feel didn't do much for my skin. I've since given it to my mom and she feels the exact same way, and the Fresh essence is actually $36 cheaper. I've been asked about this recently and I have addressed it in a couple comments, but as you guys know, for a long time the Origins Original Skin Essence has been my absolute favorite. But honestly, I've been really torn on that product lately because after using it for a while, I discovered that it does contain SD alcohol as the second ingredient. It honestly didn't even cross my mind because I used that product for 2 years straight and I never experienced any of the kind of negative side effects, irritation, sensitivity, anything like that with that product, and it works so well for me. So the verdict is out on that one currently, but if you don't want to use that essence for similar reasons, then this would definitely be my second recommendation. It's the next best essence I've tried for sure. Quick product shout out goes to the Vitamin Nectar Antioxidant Glow Water. I talked about this in a video recently, so I'll link that for you guys if you missed it. I'm not going to elaborate in this video to save time, but I use this every single day in my makeup routine. It is an absolute staple for me, and I do kind of consider this more of like a makeup mist rather than a skincare product. You can use it both ways, but I definitely prefer using it in my makeup routine. So if you want to know why I love this so much, then definitely go watch that video when you're done with this one. I'll also link my updated makeup routine that I posted a couple months ago. I pretty much don't change my makeup routine. The one thing that has changed is that I did use a BB cushion in that video, and you guys, I have stopped using a BB cushion or any kind of foundation or tinted moisturizer. I've just been spot concealing and I am loving it. That was totally off topic, but anyways, let's move on. We're going to wrap up part 1 today with face masks, but does that mean we are almost done? No, because we still have 6 masks to talk about. The first is the Rose Face Mask. First of all of Fresh's masks do come in a 100 milliliter or 3.3 fluid ounce jar, so I feel like you do get a lot of product and a lot of applications for your money, but this has always been one of my go-to masks when my sensitive skin is acting up and just in need of some serious calming. This is a lightweight gel formula that also does have real rose petals suspended in it, and it is formulated with cucumber and aloe vera, so it's just meant to be ultra soothing for sensitive skin. It's great for easing any redness or reactions I might be experiencing at the time, and since it is a gel formula, it's not too rich like some of the other rose masks I have tried. It really just absorbs and disappears into the skin, and it's just a very luxurious, pampering product. This is always going to be one of my favorite face masks and a product I'll recommend. The second is the Sugar Face Polish. I initially thought that this was more of like a physical scrub that you would just massage in and rinse off, but you are supposed to apply a layer of this, leave it on for 10 minutes, and then rinse it off, so it is technically a mask. This is one of the only products I've tried from Fresh that I just overall dislike. It's a very thick, pasty brown sugar and strawberry seed exfoliant. It's not really a great texture to use as a mask in my opinion, but it also doesn't really perform as a physical exfoliant. It's just got a weird consistency. It's too thick and sticky. It doesn't really spread well over the skin, and I've tried to use it numerous times and tried to make myself like it, but every time I've tried it, I'm just find myself a little dissatisfied. I have yet to try the new Sugar Strawberry Exfoliating Face Wash, but hopefully I can soon, because from what I've seen and heard, it definitely seems like it is going to be way more up my alley, and I like that it is a cleanser. But fun ingredient fact, strawberries are a natural source of salicylic acid. Mask number 3 is the Black Tea Instant Perfecting Mask, not to be confused with my favorite black tea overnight firming mask. I am going to cover overnight masks in part 2 because let's face it, they're just kind of like a souped up night cream essentially. But this is the original black tea mask. It comes in the white jar, and it is a mask that you rinse off after 10 minutes, so it's quite different from this one. This mask has this really unique fluffy texture. I wish I had it to show you guys, but it has always reminded me of like whipped mashed potatoes, also because it's like the exact same color, but it's just like creamy but also fluffy. It's very different. Like all of the black tea products, it's very antioxidant rich. The feel of this mask is great. It leaves your skin super smooth. It's a great product for like special occasions, for like a little at-home facial. But this product also has a very strong cooling sensation that my skin does not appreciate. How do I explain this? It's like when you're holding an ice cube in your bare hand, and at first it just feels really cold. It's not that bad, but if you continue to hold it for a prolonged period of time, it starts to get painful and it starts to feel like more of a burning sensation. And that is what this mask does to my face, unfortunately. I've talked about this before with other products that have a cooling sensation. If it's too intense, it just verges on uncomfortable for me. And I was absolutely shocked because all of Fresh's products have been so great for my sensitive skin in the past, and this product should not at all be an exception. My weird, picky skin just does not like that cooling sensation. If you don't have this issue, then you'll probably really enjoy this mask, but I would recommend getting a sample if you do want to try it. I do think it's a lovely product. I know people who absolutely swear by it, but it's obviously just a no for me. Mask number 4 is the Lotus Youth Preserve Rescue Mask. I love this mask when I'm getting ready in the morning and I'm a little bit pressed on time, whether I'm going to be wearing makeup or not, because it is meant to be like a 5-minute facial for your skin. First of all, it has seaweed flakes and ground lotus seed in here to just kind of gently buff and exfoliate the skin. If you are wanting an exfoliating mask from Fresh, I highly recommend this over the Sugar Face Polish. But it's in this supple cream base that of course feels a lot like the Lotus Youth Preserve face cream, which, spoiler alert, it's one of my favorites if you missed last week's video. But this mask just gives your skin an instant healthy boost and leaves your skin so radiant and even after just 5 minutes. I've mentioned this in the past, but I feel like this mask gives me a similar glow and kind of evenness that I've had after having a professional chemical peel. I'm a really big fan of this one. And the last product we're going to talk about today is the Vitamin C Glow Mask. This mask looks, feels, and smells exactly like you are rubbing orange jam onto your face. It's kind of weird, but it's also kind of fun. Like, it's a fun, different texture that I haven't really seen in other face masks. And I do a lot of face masks, so I do like when a brand kind of throws something new at me and changes up the experience a little bit, but unfortunately, I don't feel like this mask does much for my skin at all. This is meant to be 50% citrus fruits, and I was disappointed that the fruit and citric acid seem to be the only form of vitamin C in this mask. Citric acid can be good for brightening the skin, but this mask just really doesn't do it for me. And I read reviews after trying this because I was like, okay, what am I missing with this product? And a lot of people seem to say the same thing, that it feels like you're rubbing marmalade on your face and it doesn't really do much for your skin. I have also accidentally left this mask on for a little bit longer than the recommended 10 minutes, and when I go a little bit over that time, it does start to sting a little bit, and citrus can be irritating for the skin, so the fact that this is pretty much all citrus isn't really the best. I of course had really high hopes for the Vitamin Nectar products, but unfortunately 2 out of 3 of them have just kind of fallen flat for me. It's been really hit or miss, so we'll have to see. I think they just have a moisturizer, and then I believe they just announced that they are adding a serum to this line, so hopefully I can try them at some point. I'm still gonna have an open mind. If you want to glow, go for the Lotus mask, even the Rose face mask. For $80, this one just isn't worth it for me. That is where we are going to wrap up today's video, you guys. I hope you have enjoyed part 1, and I hope you're excited for part 2 as well. I think part 2 is going to be going up 2 weeks from now, which I know is quite a while, but I do have some sponsored videos going up this month and I want to spread them out and not post them back to back, especially because I'm mostly posting 1 video a week right now. So I hope you understand. You guys are always so supportive when I do choose to take sponsorships, but I still don't want to like bombard you with them or anything like that. If you guys thumbs up this video like crazy, maybe I will post part 2 sooner, but part 2 is going to have serums, moisturizers, overnight masks, and eye creams. I have some products in there that I'm really excited to talk to you about as well. But give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out the description box for product links and everything like that. Go follow me on social media. I'm at SariReanna on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe down below if you are new, but I will talk to you guys in the next one.